Hi there, good morning everyone. So welcome to the webinar today. We're just going to go over the benefits of the CounterPath Bria Stretto platform. So I'm Matthew Heaney. I'm one of the technical pre-sales engineers at ProView. There's my colleague Mohammed Bajwa, who's our senior technical sales engineer. And with Dave Watkin from CounterPath, who also works in pre-sales.
Hi everybody.
Okay, so I'm just going to go over the agenda today. So we're just going to talk a little bit about what the Stretto platform actually is. We're going to talk about the main differences between the Bria Retail client, which is also known as Bria 4, and the Bria Stretto client. We're going to talk through the benefits of using the Stretto client for ITSPs and IT admins. We're going to go over the license types that are available for purchase from ProView. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the new Bria User PAYG license, which is one of the new license types we've got. We're going to go over the support charges and what they cover, and we're just going to talk a little bit about the we're just going to talk a little bit about the add-on modules. So that's including the XMPP, so hosted XMPP, Outlook integration, and a few others. We're also going to talk a little bit about the CounterPath branding. And then we'll just have a quick summary at the end just to go over what we've been talking through, and then a little Q&A at the end. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of information, so we're just going to go over what the Stretto platform is. So basically it's a unified communications platform. So basically the idea of it is it's a soft phone solution. So you can use it on a Windows machine, you can use it on a Mac. You can use it on mobile devices such as Android and iPhone devices, and even tablet devices. Basically, it also helps IT departments discover any issues before the end users do. So just to give you a little overview, because Stretto is a cloud-based solution, the management of your users is done online. So as some of you may already be aware of the Bria Retail clients, the configuration is done on the device itself. With Stretto, all your configuration is done online via the cloud portal, and then obviously all you need to give to your customers is a username and password for them to log in with. So all the SIP details are managed online, none of that's on the end device itself. It also enables, so IT departments, they can have hands-on access to the data. So as I've said, obviously the IT department may be in control of Bria Stretto, so they'll manage all their users online, they'll pass along their username and password for Stretto to their customer, they'll log in and happy days, they're good to go. Okay. And it works with any IP, IMS or unified communication platform. So obviously it's using SIP. Now obviously SIP's been around for quite a long time now. It's been used with the Bria Retail client, so it's had thorough testing, and obviously, it's designed to work with most, SIP-based PBXs. Okay, and I'm just going to pass you over to my colleague Mohammed.
Thanks, Matthew. So just to give you a bit more insight to the Stretto platform. As obviously Matthew explained, that it is a modular system as compared to Bria Retail, which is just a retail client, and it's more like for end users. This is more designed for ITSPs, for IT administrators to manage their own clients. So what CounterPath has done is they've divided the solution into 5 different packages, sort of we can call it, or 5 different options. So the most important or the most relevant part you can see on the presentation is the end user provisioning and support, which is what we over webinar is emphasized on. So, and as I said, it is a modular system. So what you do is you start with basic, you get all the basic features right, and if you want to add more features to it, you just buy the add-ons, which is obviously charged separately, but you buy the add-ons and add as per your requirement. So the end user part is provisioning. So the first part is as provisioning. So what you do is log into the cloud system, create users, put your SIP details, configure Active Directory or LDAP configuration wherever you want. and then roll it out to the end users. The second and third part on the end user provisioning, which is more relevant for support people, for IT administrator, is the user experience metrics and help desk. Now, these two are quite important for IT administrators and for ITSPs, mainly because it allows the management people to control, to support the end users. For example, help desk assistance. At the moment, it's only really allowed for mobile devices, but what it allows you to, and desktop support is coming soon shortly, is it allows you to remotely log into the actual device, only the application to the application level, and you can basically configure and program, configure, test the actual application and troubleshoot the problem. So help desk assistance is more like gathering logs, finding out what the problem is without having to actually ask your end user to do anything for you. So it basically takes the pain away from the end user and let the administrators do their job rather than relying on end users to click buttons and stuff like that. Obviously, there's some buttons involved in the initial process anyways. User experience metrics is quite a niche product actually. It is again for ITSPs, but what it does is it allows people or IT administrator, it gathers all information or device information and then displays that in a graphical interface. It also monitors the audio quality, so you can monitor your audio quality. If you have a problem, all you have to do is turn on, go to the portal, do some, click on some buttons, and you can look at voice quality issues, what codecs you're using, what's the audio quality like, if there's a jitter buffer. So it's more like IT administrator stuff, but it is quite useful if you would like to obviously try your own, find out where the problem is or which codecs are compatible with your system or Bria and vice versa. The next bit is a solution support. So push notification is another add-on module that you can purchase. I'm not going to go in more details because it's not really relevant at this stage, but if you do need some information about push notification, basically it's more like a notification for the devices or people when they log in, if there's something going on with the device, with the server, or with your downtime. Then when you're trying something, it just allows you to notify packets to the actual devices. Service support section covers content discovery. It's more like if you used to with WhatsApp and Viber, it's basically what it does is, and if it goes through your contact search on your mobile devices or on your devices and make you aware that the other persons in the contact may be using Bria Stretto. It's not really useful, but it is an add-on feature which can purchase. It was developed for certain customer base. Convergence support is obviously, this is probably on these two, it's divided into two different parts. Call continuity is the most important part, and subscriber line proxy. Now the subscriber line proxy, I'm not going to go in more details because it only really applies to on-site Stretto. So you can actually purchase your own Stretto hardware and then software as well, and you can host it on your own cloud system if you want to manage the whole system yourself. So I'm not going to go in and subscriber line proxy, but call continuity is quite a niche product or add-on. What it allows you to do is, if you're using it on a mobile device or tablets or wherever, it allows you to roam between 3G, 4G, and Wi-Fi seamlessly. So when you move out of 3G or 4G coverage or Wi-Fi coverage, and it roams the call, it handovers a call to Wi-Fi automatically with minimum disruption. Obviously, there will always be some sort of delay because you're roaming over and RTP has to start from flowing differently, but that's what it does. Again, it is an add-on that you can purchase. If you're using Android devices, the new ones, it generally happens automatically. If you're using iOS or Apple devices, then I think you can probably use these options anyways. The last part is messaging and presence. Again, all the first three bits, I'm not going to go in more details because that's not really relevant, but XMPP messaging and presence is the most relevant option available. And what it allows you to do is, obviously by default, Bria Stretto clients does support XMPP client connection. So if you have your own instant messaging server based on XMPP, you can connect to it, and you can obviously allow instant messaging or and presence to be shared among different clients. And it's, as Matt says, it's a unified communication platform. So what Counterpart are doing here is allowing you to integrate different technologies together so you can have a UC experience. If you don't have an XMPP messaging service or servers available, Counterpart do offer a hosted version of XMPP. So if you only are into a voice communication platform, but you want to add a XMPP feature to your solution, you can probably use XMPP, hosted XMPP from Counterpart to add instant messaging to your service without obviously having the end user to realize it's an add-on service. So you can do bits and bobs, extra add-ons with Bria Stretto anyways. And again, if you require any further information about the add-ons, please get in touch with us. I will go through the add-ons a bit more in later on in the presentation. So I'll pass you back to Matthew, who will talk about the difference between Bria Retail and Stretto clients.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Okay, yes, so I'm just going to show you just a little bit of differences here in this table. So as you can see, Bria Stretto, it offers cloud management of your users. So with the retail client, as I've mentioned at the start, the configuration's done on the device itself rather than via a portal. So if, for example, you've got customers using the retail client, all the SIT details, the usernames and things like that have to be put in on the device. With Stretto, you can just simply log in online, input your configuration for each different user, and all you have to pass along to them is just their username and password to log into Stretto, and they're they're basically set to go. With Stretto, you're eligible for software upgrades. So if there's a new version for Bria Stretto on maybe a mobile device or a desktop device, you're eligible to get the software upgrades for that. That is included with the support pricing. I'll talk a little bit about the support charges a bit later on in the presentation. With software upgrades with the retail client, unfortunately you don't actually get upgrades for free on that, so there is an extra charge to get later versions. HD video calling, that's a feature included with Stretto. As with the retail, you've got to pay an extra fee. Presence and messaging, that's included with both. You've got your integration with Outlook, which is included as well, so you can download that as a separate add-on and install it, for use with Stretto. As with the Bria Retail client, you have to pay extra again, so it's more of a sort of add-on feature. G729, that's included with both. That's just a standard. And technical support charge, there is a support charge when you purchase Bria Stretto licenses from us that have to be paid annually. So that gives you access to technical support. As with Bria Retail, you've got very limited support with them, so you can only get support via the forums. So if you're, for example, having trouble with it, you'd raise a technical query on the forum, and then obviously you'd have to wait maybe a couple of hours to get a response from somebody else on the forum. Support for bring your own device. Yep, that's included with Stretto. As with retail, it's not really relevant. And add-on modules, you can get plenty of add-ons with Stretto, which my colleague Mohammed will talk to you about a bit later on. As with the retail client, there aren't any add-ons available, unfortunately.
And just to add on to the bring your own device concept, obviously I'm sure most of the guys are very aware of what this means. Basically, historically, people or corporate companies and all the businesses used to purchase mobile devices for people or salespeople who are on the go, and they obviously had to purchase a new mobile phone, refresh the technology every now and then. But what this Bria Stretto brings to the table is everybody obviously nowadays uses smartphones. And what in the past, what happened was if somebody left and they took the mobile phone, it's just taken away. Highly unlikely, but it has happened in certain circumstances, or maybe there's a chance of breaking the phones and stuff. So what this allows you to do is if you hire a person, or if you have someone as like a salesperson who's on the go, all you have to do is install Bria Stretto, on it, and then they can start using your hosted or on-site PBX, and they can start making and receiving calls. The idea being is, if they lost the mobile phone, if it's broken, all they have to do is install the same application onto another phone, maybe depending on desktop or mobile or whatever, and they're up and ready in no time. So it just makes life much more easier in terms of management. If somebody goes away or leave the employment, all you have to do is delete the user or deactivate the user from the portal, and they can't make any more calls. Another good thing about bringing on the Stretto is every setting is locked down, as Matthew explained. So the SIP details, which are the most important part of this any SIP-based product base, it's all hidden, it's all secure. Nobody can change it apart from the administrators. So it is secure. So what they can do is, once anybody got a Bria Stretto client on the computer, all they can do is make and receive calls, and obviously depending on the add-ons like auto integration, they can just use it. They can't actually make any changes to the actual client configuration. So it's a really useful difference between, it's an important difference between Bria Retail and Stretto.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to go over some of the benefits of Bria Stretto. So you can easily manage and provision your soft phone clients from anywhere. Now, when I say anywhere, I mean literally anywhere. As long as you're somewhere where you've got an internet connection, you can get access to the web. All you need to do is just web browse to the cloud portal and log in. And you can manage your users from there. If there's any clients that have got any issues, they can mainly be addressed on the portal. Upsell accounts. Now this is quite a good one, really. So for example, if you're like selling, let's say for example, Snom desk phones, you may sell somebody one of the Snom desk phones, so maybe the D765 for example. You can sort of bundle together Bria with the phone. So obviously if you've got a person who's just going to be using a desk phone whilst they're in the workplace, if you sold them a Bria Stretto mobile license, for example, they'd be able to sign in on Stretto and they'd be able to use that when they're away from the desk. So maybe if they've got maybe a meeting and they might have an important call expected, they could keep Stretto open, and they could answer and take calls whilst they're away from the desk. So they're not having to, just rely on being at the desk all the time just to take calls if they've gone home early. Or there's something else to do. They can use Bria Stretto to make and receive calls if they want to. So it's quite a good one, really. Template-based configuration. So on Stretto, you can create many different SIP templates. So if you're managing for two different customers, for example, so for example with us, we'd have proview.co.uk as one of our domains. Maybe underneath that we'd have a separate company that was abc123.com. So you can create different SIP templates for there. So if you're going to be creating, let's say, 10 users, for example, you'd be able to edit that SIP template so it contains maybe, I don't know, the same SIP registrar. So obviously when you create users, you assign that template to that user, and it sort of auto-fills that user so that you may only have to include maybe their extension number and, the SIP password and things like that. So that's just one of the great sort of time-saving features, for customers that will use it a lot. You've got second line support from ProView. So the first line support would be ideally yourselves. So if you've got maybe an end user or customer that's got an issue with Stretto, we'd expect you to have a little look into it and just see if you can figure out what's going on. Obviously, if it seems like it's a bit more of a complicated issue, then you can come and talk to our technical support team at ProView, and we'll try and help you out with that. If it's an issue that we can't seem to resolve, then obviously we'll be able to pass it on to CounterPath technical support, and they'll be able to give some advice. So there's plenty of support available for Stretto. Now you can reuse the licenses, but you cannot transfer them. So just to sort of explain, on Stretto, like I said earlier, we'd have, for example, proview.co.uk and then abc123.com. You can have many different child partners where you can manage. So if you create a user under abc123.com and they've logged in on a mobile device, if that user from that company then decides to leave, you can then delete that user and that license will be freed up on that domain. So then you'd be able to create another new user. So for example, a new employee at the company, they'd be able to log in on Stretto and reallocate that license under that domain. So you also get access to the latest features and any updates. So as I said, with the support charges that you pay, you're eligible to upgrade to the latest software. So new client releases. And as Mohammed mentioned previously on the last slide, you can lock the settings. So your end users can't change it. So if, for example, you've got a customer that's checking, they've got Stretto on the desktop device, they can view the SIP details on there, but the fields are completely greyed out. So it sort of defeats the issue of a client calling you up saying, "Oh, I've accidentally deleted my SIP password. Can you re-input it for me?" That completely defeats that. So because it's just completely locked down, so they can't delete any of the SIP details or anything. It's all done via the cloud portal. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about the types of licenses available. So we have two types of licenses available. We've got the per device license and we've got the per user license. So just to give you a bit of information on the device license, it allows you to purchase, you purchase one license and you can use it on one device. So as you can see from the graph here, you've got, you can purchase a mobile license, you can purchase a desktop license or a tablet license. You can only use one of those. So if you purchase a mobile license, for example, you'd only be able to log in on the mobile client for one user. So it basically just works on one device. So it either works on mobile, desktop, or tablet. You can't use it on different ones. And this is where the user license comes in handy. So what this does is it allows a user to log in on up to 4 devices of any mix. So that's including the mobile client, the desktop client, and the tablet client. Now, obviously, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can sign in on the same, all at the same time on different devices. Because obviously PBX would need to support multiple SIP registrations. Now, from my experience, I know that a lot of PBXs don't actually support this feature as yet. It's kind of a limited feature that you come across. But basically, yeah, if you've got a client that's going to be using Bria Stretto on the mobile device when they're out and about, if you've got somebody that's going to use it on the desktop machine, maybe at work or at home if they need to work from home, the user license, it's more designed for that, so that you're not having to purchase the mobile license, the desktop license, and the tablet license. Okay, so just a little bit of information on the pay-as-you-go model that we've got now. So we do have a pay-as-you-go version for the user license. So again, it's the exact same as the user license. You can register 4 devices of any mix, and basically it's just a pay-as-you-go license. So rather than paying for your license as a one-off fee and then purchasing the support charge with that and paying that annually, it's just a pay-as-you-go model, so it's monthly. So you build monthly for it, and the support charge is included with that. So it's just a fixed amount per month that you're paying. And there's no contract to sign up. So there's no, when you sign up, you don't need to sign up for 6 months, for example. You can literally sign up, and if you decide that you don't want to use the pay-as-you-go model anymore, all you need to do is just give us a 30-day notice period. And then we can get that cancelled off for you. So there's no ties with that. It's just a 30 days notice, and it is available for UK customers only, and payment is taken via direct debit. If you do think that you may be interested in the pay-as-you-go model, then you can either contact myself or Mohammed. We will show the contact details at the end where you can drop us an email.
And just to add to the pay-as-you-go user, it is a user model. So what it allows you to do is, obviously, as I said, it's a mix of any 4 devices. We initially did thought about the device license, but because the monthly fee came up very little, it was not economically viable. And it is obviously the price you see is retail. So if you are a trade customer, obviously there are trade discounts available, and it works quite well with ITSPs who charge their customers on a monthly basis, because then you can keep on using the user license as long as the user stays with you, really. So it works in terms of finances and everything. It works quite well with ITSPs as well, and obviously for people who are in services sector of the business.
Okay, so I'm just going to go over what the support charges cover. So they basically cover, software updates. So that can be between, minor updates and major software releases. Now, just to explain what I mean by that, a minor update could be maybe a couple of bug fixes that was a problem in the previous update. So you'll get upgrades to the latest versions that include bug fixes and so on. And then there's the major software releases such as maybe a new Android software will come out. So I know that my phone's recently been updated to Android 6.0. So basically CounterPath have that sort of relationship with Android and Apple where they can basically test their application with their software before it's actually released. So it just sort of defeats any problems, because you may notice that with some applications that you download on a phone, it's not compatible with the newer software. And obviously that's going to cause a few issues because there's downtime if you're not being able to use the software, or there's issues. This basically eliminates that problem because obviously Stretto's tested with the newer software before it's actually released. Access to the Stretto portal. So as I've said, it is a cloud portal. As long as you pay your mandatory support charges, you'll have access to the cloud portal to manage your users. If you don't happen to pay, if you fail to pay the support charges, then obviously, your subscription will be cancelled and you won't be able to manage your licenses anymore. It also offers support from our technical team. So as I said, the first line support will be you guys, and then second line will be us, and then anything, past that would be sent to CounterPath's technical support. And that's it really. And I'm just going to pass you on to Mohammed just to talk a little bit about the add-on modules available for Stretto.
Thanks, Matt. So I think I've covered most of the points on the second slide today anyway, so it's more to follow up the same slide. So I'm just going to add a bit more information for people who really joined after later on the webinar. So basically, the add-on modules you can purchase on top of the standard add-ons is help desk assistance. As I said, help desk assistance is more for people who would like to support customers without having to rely on, from end users to do anything, basically in terms of support. So generally what happens is you have to call the customer saying, oh, can you make a call? Can you do this? Can you do this? And then you have to gather logs. But help desk assistance, which is mainly available at the mobile phone, allows you to connect to their mobile devices on the application level. So you actually log in to their mobile devices. Just to make you aware, you can only access the Stretto app. You can't actually access any contact information or anything like that. You can only access the application, mobile application, and then you can obviously send it some commands to make a call. And there's quite a few different command lines you can do from Stretto client. So effectively, you can do everything from there. XMPP is another service, which is basically what you can do is you can, if you have XMPP server, you can obviously use XMPP for instant messaging. So if you have an XMPP server, you obviously the client's already there. You can configure, you can connect to XMPP services, and you can obviously do audio and instant messaging from there. If you don't have an XMPP server, what you can potentially do is you can basically buy a hosted version of XMPP server, which is hosted by CounterPath. There is obviously an annual fee for it, but what it allows you to do is if you only if you're only in audio business, but you want to add a UC part functionality to it, then obviously you can do that by using existing CounterPath hosted services. Screen sharing is another option, and our screen sharing is more for from collaboration work. At the moment, obviously, it's only available for desktop version. It doesn't really make sense for mobile devices because obviously the devices are quite small, anyways. Excuse me. So screen sharing, as it says, you can share screens like you can do with most of the application nowadays, and it's mainly it can help with remote troubleshooting. It can also allow you to use it as a collaborative tool, so you can share your screens and presentations and vice versa. Battery saver mode is mainly available for mobile and tablet devices. Again, it is an add-on. The idea of this add-on is by default, obviously, if you're using obviously iOS devices and Android devices, they all support multitasking. What it means is the application lives behind, lives in the background, and it just keeps on listening to SIP traffic, and it just pops up when a call comes in. What in fact that does is basically it allows what it does is basically it consumes battery. So the battery, more chances of running out of batteries, although it's been improved a lot recently. But it still uses your battery because the app is still running on Wi-Fi or 3G all the time. So if you have this battery saver mode add-on, what it allows you to do is it basically Android or iOS kill the actual processor, the actual processor skill, and there's a feature called notification process. So what it does is basically if a call comes in, the Android or iOS notification mode jumps in, and it sends a notify packet to the application to start the application and start making and receiving calls. So what it effectively does is make sure the app is not running all the time. It only runs the actual application when there is an actual call going on, or when there's an actual need for the application to be running, which is quite niche product again. Call continuity, as explained, it allows you to roam, to hand over the call when you're moving from 4G, 3G, or Wi-Fi. It just allows a seamless behavior, seamless experience when you're moving really from one location to another location, or from 1G or 4G or 3G. If you have recent Android devices, the Android devices does support it as well, but if you're not on Android and if you're on iOS, you probably can use this, and if you like this add-on, you can probably utilize that on iOS devices because of the way how it's implemented. User experience metrics is it's more for ITSPs. It allows people to monitor the calls, to monitor the user experience. If somebody's obviously complaining about voice quality issues, all you have to do is you go to the Stretto platform, go to the experience, the add-on bit, and then you can see all very useful information like what iOS they are using, or what OS they are using, what sort of device they're using, what the sound card drivers. The codecs they're using, the jitter buffer, the network, whether the call was made on Wi-Fi or Ethernet. So it gives you a lot of information, a very lot of useful information about how the device is being used, and how what the experience is like to get to the bottom of the problem. And obviously it helps you if there's a problem from the ITSP. It also helps people understand a potential problem which could be on the ITSP or the PBX side. So all these add-ons are obviously available as an add-on module. If you're interested, please get in touch with us, and obviously we can provide you more information on it. But you can find information on it anyways on our website, ProView, or you can obviously browse through CounterPath website, which will give you some more information on add-on module as well. So so I'm almost getting to right at the end, and now we're going to talk about branding. What is it? I'm going to need Dave Watkins from CounterPath to jump in to this, and hopefully we'll talk you through it about the branding options and what you can do with it. So over to you, Dave.
Thanks, Mo. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Okay. Hi, everyone. Dave Watkins from CounterPath. I'm one of the sales engineers here. We unusually, for a SIP softphone client, we allow our customers to fully brand our SIP softphones. So the Bria clients can be branded to your specific corporate requirements. That includes things like colours, to some extent fonts, logos, etc. Also, with some limits, we can switch on and off features. Those things are all possible based on the level of alteration you want to make. For the mobile clients, we do this through a portal, and through the desktop. For the desktop clients, we do this using forms, but the guys at ProView will handle all that for you. So essentially, you'll see and hear the term Category 1 branding. That is the basic level of branding where we apply your images and colours to the softphone client. As standard, a Category 1 branded Bria client will still retain the reference powered by CounterPath within it. Oh, thanks guys, you've changed the slide, that's perfect timing. Whereas a white labelled Bria client will have that powered by CounterPath logo removed. And that sort of really varies by customer. Some people are happy to have that there, and some people wish to have it removed. There is a small extra charge for white labelling. The third option, as I was sort of alluding to earlier, is non-recurring engineering, or NRE as we call it. And this is where you're asking us to make some changes to the client which are not easy or simple to do using our existing branding process. This is what I would call one-off engineering. And what we'll do is, we're a very engineering-led company. We're very happy to look at those things for you. And through the guys at ProView, you can explain your requirements. They'll create a kind of statement of requirements into us, and we'll look at that from an engineering perspective and work out what it will cost to do in terms of engineering time and any other cost factors. So it really is possible to customize the Bria clients to a great extent for your requirements and for your corporate images, and gives you the ability to put your company name and image and other branding in front of your customers every day as they use the client. So that's branding. I'm happy to answer any questions about branding, but that's the gist of it. So it's a full customization service essentially, applicable to the mobile and desktop clients.
That's great, Dave. Obviously, we're not going to go in. There's a, if you need some more information about branding, if you'd like to see a different, what can be done on different branding in terms of more like a visualization of how, what can be done with it, you can get in touch with us. Obviously, we don't have enough time to go through the whole different branding option in details, but obviously, Dave has obviously covered the most important aspects of branding for you. Now, just to go more forward, as with any branding, there is a minimum order quantity, and the absolute minimum quantity is 100 license. So you have to pay for branding, but obviously you have to commit to at least 100 licenses, either mobile, desktop, to get the branding for yourself. And it's not a lot of money. It's quite economic. It's quite nicely priced as well. So if you want something, branded, get in touch with us, and we'll come back to you with more options. So and that's about it really for today. I'm just going to, so obviously just to cover up what we've discussed today, as we discussed the starter of with Bria Stretto. So Bria Stretto is a provisional client. You can be anywhere in the world. All you have to do is log into the Stretto platform, create a user, send an email to the user, and they can be up and running in very minimal time. It is available for the Bria Stretto is available for mobile, desktop, and tablet devices. Obviously, you can purchase two different kind of licenses. There is a per device licenses which only applies to one user and one device. Or if you want something a bit more flexible for the users, where they are on the go, or maybe they are in a call center where they want to, there's no definite shift patterns, or maybe different shift patterns, a per user license probably will suit better for them. Or alternatively, if you are UK-based customer, you can probably use the pay-as-you-go user model, which is the most, most attractive so far we have seen from our UK resellers. As this is a more like a channel product, in terms of, as compared to Bria Retail, there is obviously trade discounts, reseller discounts available for all the people interested, and obviously if you look at the feature set available for Bria Stretto, it is a bit more, it's much more mature product than Bria Retail in terms of obviously corporate and customer devices. It is obviously, we talked about the support charge. Every license has a support charge associated. associated with it. So on a per user license, you pay per monthly. So the support charge is included in the price, whereas for per device license, which has obviously a minimum 12-month commitment, you pay a one-off charge for the device, and then you annually pay like £10 or £5, depending on, you know, or £2 on certain circumstances for the annual support. But it does give you, as Matt explained, it does give you access to software upgrades. It gives you access to Bria Stretto hosted system, and obviously the management part, and it also it gives you access to second line and third line support from ProView and CounterPath. And finally, we discussed, obviously, you can have your own branded clients. There are different categories to choose from. So you can either have a very basic category 1, which is obviously display powered by CounterPath client, and you can do the very, you know, you can change fonts and to a limited extent. You can change the pictures and themes. Whereas if you want something a bit more customized, for example, I believe CounterPath have done one for a hotel chain where they wanted their own extra bits added to the clients or to the tablet clients, and where they have fully customized the overall experience for the customer. And obviously, when you're asking for a full customized solution, you have to pay a bit more extra, but what you eventually get is a fully powerful SIP stack powered and plus add-on services you've asked CounterPath to add as a non-recurring engineering charge. So that's about it for today, guys. Thanks for joining in. If you have any questions, the contact details you can see, or my email address, Matt's email address, and Dave's email address in front of you. If you have any questions, we are open to questions on your GoToMeeting client on the right hand side top corner. You can bottom corner, sorry. You can see a chat box. So if you have any questions, please write the questions to us, and we will try and answer them today. If you don't have any questions, or maybe if it comes along after we finish with it, please get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to help with any questions you may have. Now, the only thing we forgot to add is if you are new to Stretto and you would like to try it out, we do have some limited trial accounts available. So if you have a requirement for trial account, get in touch with us. We will create you a trial account, and we will give you a brief introduction about how and what you can do with it, and obviously go walk you through it to get you up to speed on the Stretto client. So that's about it. We'll give you about we'll wait about a couple of minutes to see if any questions comes along, and then we will obviously stop talking, I guess, finish the webinar. So I'm just going to see if there's any questions. Right, so I don't think we have any questions for today, but yeah, get in touch with us if you have any. I would like to thank everybody who joined the webinar for today. I hope it was useful. Thanks, Dave, for adding your input. It was really useful, and hopefully speak to everybody soon. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Matt.